Why is this generation, which is on some level the most secure, safest, emotionally healthy, like all the improved, why isn't everyone feeling awesome?
I feel like we are being bombarded with things that the human species isn't really designed to handle. For example, what I like to call cell phones, anxiety rectangles. But now I have it at my fingertips.
There's a line from Blaise Pascal, the philosopher in the 1500s, that I think about. He says, all of humanity's problems stem from our inability to sit quietly in a room alone. And so you go, maybe it's not the phone that's the problem. You know, like the common variable in all these societies is us. You always think that the moment that you're in is uniquely falling apart.
Yeah, no one's ever lived through this. This has never happened.
And so I think studying history not only shows you what has happened, but then it also reminds you, hey, you people over here, you're playing with forces that you don't, like, we know how bad this can get. You think it's funny to cheer for some healthcare CEO getting shot, and you don't understand what happens when you let that genie out of the bottle.
Yeah, as that spreads and permeates, nobody wants a part of that.
I think we sometimes think of the ancient world as this like peaceful, idyllic place where they walked around in togas, as if there wasn't the constant threat of being invaded, conquered, and sold into slavery, as if you couldn't die from a cut on your finger.
I was gonna say with a life expectancy of 35.
Infant mortality was like shockingly high. Life was brutal and uncomfortable and uncertain.
I am slightly fascinated how you came from a background in marketing and landed more in a place of stoicism.
They don't exactly go together typically. And so famously, the Stoics are saying that, like, basically, it doesn't matter what happens to you in life. Every situation is a chance to apply one or more of these virtues. And so their belief was like, nothing bad can happen to you, only the opportunity to practice a virtue. The virtue comes into play, I think, in the sense that it requires some willpower, sacrifice, strength, that it is easier to say than do. But the whole point is that you do it.
So how would you define wisdom?
It's this thing that you are approaching but never actually touch. It's a thing that you can have more of than you had before, but never actually have all of, right? Like it's something like the horizon. You definitely move towards it in the sense that you look behind you and you go, I'm a mile from where I started, and yet it's as far from you as it will always be.
What are you going to write next?
Biography of Stockdale. One of the things they do teach at the school was like the most senior person has to take command.
Yes.
And so he has to take command, which you go, okay, he's in charge, he gets to tell people. No, he has to figure out if their orders are woefully insufficient, what are the orders? The main thing was they learned almost immediately that everybody breaks under torture. The leadership role was not how do you prevent people from breaking under torture, but how do you prevent people from spiraling into a death loop because they broke under torture. Stockdale is in the Gulf of Tonkin the night of the incident, and he's very clear, even at the time, that nothing happened. So he basically is in possession of the single most valuable piece of propaganda that you could have possibly imagined. He's like, I know my government did something wrong, and if the enemy were to get this from me, it would be the propaganda coup of all coups.